It's tabletop time. I'm Jazza from Draw with Jazza.
I'm Rob.
I'm Shad from I Am Shad.
And I'm Aki.
And we are here at the character creation part of Rob's campaign. I forgot to mention in the last video slash audio file, because the thing I forgot to mention, and I said the audio file thing, is because these stories are now available on SoundCloud. Ooh. So I'll be uploading them as a podcast form so people can listen to them if they didn't want to use bandwidth in watching our silly faces, but here we are.
Listen, it's the dice roll.
And I understand you'll miss out on it because sometimes you just look at our faces and laugh. With Jazza, I do that all the time.
So, we're creating our characters. Now, we've sort of created our characters, but really we're putting it on paper now. So how do you want to go about this? Do we just sort of go one person at a time and fill in our character sheet and explain our history and all that stuff?
And I just want to say, this is for Rob's campaign that we're just starting, called Blood Brothers.
Dun dun dun. Yeah.
The more I say it, the more I like it. I mean, it's...
Blood Brothers. That didn't work. Different accent. Blood Brothers, because I'm going to speak in my dumb peasant voice.
You're not even playing a dude. And on that note, who are you playing?
I'm playing a dude.
No, you're not. Stop lying.
I'll go last.
Show his picture.
He should go last.
Why?
Because he's not part of the party.
Oh. Well, then I'll go first because I was part of the founding of the party.
Exactly. That makes sense.
It does make sense. So, my character's name is... Well, his name is not known to people because he doesn't go by that name anymore. Because he's a bit of a runaway. He's been a runaway from a young age. He's now, I think, 36.
Something like that.
36 years old. Slightly balding. This is what he looks like. It's just a sketch.
He's 36.
It's also really dark, remember?
I think so. Yeah, sorry. This is my...
I like the shield there, Jazza.
Thank you.
Center gripped round skjolder, which is the
that.
Viking or Old Norse name for shield.
I'm sorry, the pictures... Anyways,
can you see why on the computer? Anyway.
Can you... Yes, I know, but it's Windows 10. Anyway, what?
You're also black.
Yeah, I'm black. I'm a black guy. So he actually goes by the name Carter. K-A-T-A, not C-A-R-T-E-R. Because he practices, he's known, especially among his party, but a lot of people he's served with militaristically as someone who does a lot of discipline-based meditation and Carter training. So people started calling him Carter as a joke because he was the guy who did his Carter when he didn't have to, and he did it like obsessively. So that's sort of the reputation he gained. But he's a very self-controlled person. He's really good-hearted, but fairly soft-spoken. But he really has strong morals. And he has spent, since he's been a runaway, he's spent 20 years of his life traveling from mercenary group to military group, from one to another, finding the best way to idealistically serve his fellow man, but he's found corruption in every corner of every place he's tried to do that. And in the end, he started a mercenary group with some of the people he felt were, though a bit rough around the edges, morally in the same place he was, you'd say so? At least not screwed up, and we got along. Yeah. So we started up our own mercenary group so we didn't have to follow the stuff that other people did that was a bit more screwed up. But that being said, we've also done some of the more horrendous things to get the job done, but we don't do... Carter in particular would never do a job he doesn't think needs to be done. So...
Sorry, I'm reading chat. It's awesome.
There's no real leader of the group. There's people that formed the group, but it's...
Yeah.
He would be one of the honorary leaders, though.
I'll just sort of roughly read some of my synopsis. I can't read all of it because a lot of it is about his runaway stuff, which he particularly doesn't talk about.
We are excited to copper Valentine.
Over the years, joined various mercenary bands, blah, 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 trying to help people out. He became known as Carter due to his constant formal combat and stance practice and meditation. He travelled nearly 20 years, seen every corner of Alan and all manner of cruelty and disparity. Despite this, Carter is kind, gentle and a loving man. He gains satisfaction from helping the needy and tending to the sick. Somehow he is able to see the best in all people and even empathise with the most cruel and despised of people, though he will never tolerate cruelty and will defend the innocent and helpless without hesitation, even at his own expense. He's a skilled combatant, but even more skilled as a scholar, highly educated in medicine, literacy and languages, music, politics and history. So he's, in terms of, and I'll do his character stats in a moment. I figure we'll just do one person at a time, so I'll do mine in a bit. But yeah, he's highly intelligence based rather than strength and reflex, because he uses all his skills as an intelligent person, as a combatant.
Tactics. Yeah, absolutely.
Very
he's an
tactical,
intelligence-based fighter.
Exactly.
How altruistic is he? When you say he's very moralistic and stuff, like, is he the guy that, you know, will dump everything he's holding to help a kid's kitten out of a tree?
Yeah, of course.
So is that level?
He is a put other people first kind of guy.
Boy Scout Superman level.
Yeah, pretty much.
Awesome, alrighty.
Yeah.
There's been already a comment saying, well, yay, Jazz is actually not playing a scumbag this time.
My favourite thing is with each new campaign, whatever I play, to play something completely different to last time. Like, it's so fun to just play a character completely different, you know. So
now, he has had much formal training, and he's obviously very, you know, a good picture there.
It's a bit better. I'll do a proper picture eventually. Anyways.
The sword.
Yes. Yeah, so I should
It's a great picture. I love it. Except the sword.
Shut up.
I can't.
Shut up. Okay.
I love it. It's a great picture.
So I'm going to fill in my character sheet. We get 2 stats, 2 attribute points to spend. Is that correct?
I had a question about your
I'm
character.
going to open up my emails because we discussed this.
Yep.
So, how did he go from such formal training, like in terms of scholarship and stuff, to being a mercenary? Was there...
Well, the only things you guys would know about his character is that
technically my character won't know anything.
It's known that he's a runaway, but in a fairly subtle sense. I think that's just a story that's travelled around because no one really knows where he's from and he doesn't talk about it. But he's well educated. But that being said, it's not like he was well educated and then now he's a runaway and mercenary. He educates himself. He's always, when he's not...
So he reads.
Yeah. When he's not meditating and doing his katas, he's reading his...
How prominent are books in the world, Rob? There are kind of levels depending on which medieval period
I
you
wouldn't
look
say
at.
the peasantry have them, but if you've got enough money, you can buy them. There are bookstores. And
Okay, so there's actually bookstores.
the ability to read and write isn't uncommon.
Okay. So this is actually post-Renaissance level education then.
But there's being able to read, and then there's being a scholar. So he is in the truest sense a scholar. He studies maps and histories and volumes and art forms, and he knows about a lot of things. He doesn't necessarily have the ability to do everything, but he knows about most things because he's passionate about learning about everything.
I have a question, and this is kind of important with my own character. How has Carter responded to the food that mercenaries eat?
He struggles sometimes if it's not...
Depending where you live, food is really prosperous. So like...
Look,
well is hard.
But mercenaries
he's
generally
a
have
pretty
much lower
natural sort of guy.
standards.
He's got pretty lowish standards because he doesn't put himself first. He doesn't really care if the stew's burnt or whatever, but he won't eat like dog feces mixed with some berries, you know, like he's not... Yeah, okay. We'll get to you later.
That was a very apt description what you just shared.
We'll get to that later. So how many attribute points do we
We'll
get to
go 2.
spend? 2? Okay, so I'm going to have 2 points in intelligence. I'll show my character sheet on the camera in a second.
There's also that you need to add.
Ah, yes, okay. Okay, so that means how many points do I have? Check the Cogent manual.
Yeah.
For those of you who
this
don't
is
know,
a new edition as well.
yes, we've printed Cogent books.
Yeah,
They're not for sale anywhere. We just printed them.
You can get a free
But
digital
yes,
copy.
if you go to cogentroleplay.com, you can download it. By the way, this is a vanity number because it counts as an extra number when people go back to it and view the PDF. But the core rulebook has been viewed / downloaded 20,000 times.
What?
Wow.
Yeah. But that means if someone's gone back to it 100 times every time they play a campaign...
that's 20,000. That's crazy.
I think the actual download has been like 700 or something for the zip file with all the things.
That's still awesome,
It's pretty awesome, yeah.
Whoa.
So thanks for checking it out.
Sure. Alrighty, so I can just tell you get 8 or 6 to begin.
I'll start off with 6, and then it's 3 per intelligence point.
Yeah.
Yep. So definitely 2 in perception. 1, 2. So hang on. I have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah. In proficiencies, I'm gonna go. Do I just say martial? Like, do I just say what do you say? Sword and
Sword and board is for shield as well.
yeah.
Yeah.
Would I do one for each? Maybe I'll do one for each. Like
Up
do
to
both.
you.
Sword.
I'd say sword and board is
It's a combat
it's a
style.
combat style. Yeah.
So if you're proficient in that,
Well, then
you're
he'd
proficient
train
in your sword. and-
Relic is very in there.
Okay,
He likes
Sorry,
distracting people.
medieval enthusiast. Was my hand. To an
You
extent.
don't need to reiterate that every time you input, because everyone who watches us knows
very
you're
true.
the medieval enthusiast.
I'm medieval in that. Using an axe is far different to using a sword. And so it does not make sense to
Use
say
an
you would be
axe.
as skilled using an axe and shield as you would with a sword and shield. Very different styles
No,
of combat.
he uses his sword and shield.
Yeah. So, but that's what Rob was saying. Like, so it's but also you should get the proficiency if you're just using the sword by itself without the shield.
Depends how they want to fight. As I said, Relic is not so much about inflicting damage. He's more about making a commotion.
I'm talking about Joss's
Yeah.
skills.
Yeah. So, but like they're both use sword and shield. That's the thing.
I'm going to put 2 points in sword and board because it
Good
sounds
term.
cool.
So you've got 12 points to spend.
Vocation. Do I just say scholar? Would that be a vocation?
If you want,
So we have here, you start with 8 points in skills.
plus
Plus 3, plus 3.
Your intelligence,
oh,
which is
Yay.
3
there you go.
points.
So you'd be
Yay!
more than
You
12.
actually have more.
14.
Good
Okay.
thing we have a core rulebook to look up these
I
things.
was actually on that page. I just completely dismissed it.
All right.
Well, you actually get to. This is the great thing about Coach Generator. He can change whatever the heck he
Yeah.
wants.
For
Did you want to
instance-
change 8 to 6?
Can
It's
I
up to
have
you.
No, no mind.
Okay.
In the end, it's going to be hard regardless of what you do.
Oh, yeah, we expect. This is you, Rob.
Yeah.
Well,
okay.
you're all going to die in the first session.
There's
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
certain encounters that if you get to them, I'm super excited for.
I actually have a backup character concept brewing just in case my first one dies, which is a good idea, just generally. Just always have a backup.
Well, I won't say anything.
13. Oh,
So
one more
while he's
point to
doing that,
spend.
do you want to start yours?
Hey, no,
Let's-
I'm nearly
let's
done.
just okay.
I think we should just do one whole person at a time.
Okay.
So, sorry. We start off with how many destiny points?
3
And by default, 3 commerce points.
by default.
Okay. But I have 5.
He's a rich man.
He's very rich.
Ballin'.
Oh, now, like, is this money he's accrued as a mercenary up to this point,
You don't know.
or
You don't know
family money?
I don't know. I've been a mercenary for a long time.
You have,
and
you
I don't
have.
talk much about my past. But I also don't flaunt my money. You just
So
know,
we don't
you just,
necessarily
you just
know.
notice
Necessarily, no,
that if
no.
there's someone hungry near a food cart looking longingly or about to steal it, I will buy them a bunch of food and just
Without
keep
a
walking.
second thought.
Yeah, exactly.
It was basically just a minor border dispute between 2 lords.
Okay, I'm nearly
Minor.
done. I'm just thinking.
That ended in mass bloodshed. Awesome. I love it.
Told you, it's a brutal word.
What was your character's name? Carter, wasn't it?
Carter, yes, Kata. All right, so I'm done with my character sheet. I'm pretty happy with this in general. All right, so I have 2 points in intelligence. I have 3 points in perception, 1 in athletics. I have 3 points in persuasion, 2 in survival, and I have 4 points in the vocation scholar and 2 points in the weapon proficiency sword and board. And I have
4 points in scholar.
Yeah,
Huge. Where's scholar? I can't see it.
up here.
There it is. It looks like 3 points. But
That's 4.
yeah,
they're
it's
they're
4.
mini half things, so that's 4 points in scholar. So there you go. That is Carter. Thank you. Take it away, Mackie.
Alright, so I'll steal this. My character's name is La, which
Is what La?
Lahr.
Cool.
Lar.
6'8", quite dark of skin.
6'8".
We have
All right.
36 viewers.
pretty tall fella.
What's up, people?
That jumped.
Was it 73 more to go? No, 64 more to go. Yeah.
Rob's referring to the fact that if we can get 100 concurrent viewers, we might be able to get a Twitch party.
This is a random question, but for you as a data, are we using the standard weapon and armor modifiers or the hardcore weapon and armor? Yeah!
I don't even know how they work.
Yes, I know. Oh yeah!
You guys have to guide me through it.
Yeah, hardcore, baby!
I don't even know how it works, said the co-founder of Cogent Roleplay. That's because I focus on the simple stuff and Shad focuses on
Oh,
making it
hell yeah,
complicated.
hardcore. That's what we want,
And then we
baby.
argue for 4 hours about the commerce system.
I'm really happy with the combat system, though.
Right.
We found a good place.
We did.
Oh, man.
Alright, so my character, as I said, 6'8", quite dark
Chapter
skin,
6,
kind
hardcore
of greyish.
combat, baby.
It's
That
about
whole first page is...
about 26 to 28. Race is obviously human. My character is quite impressionable and joyful, but can also be incredibly violent at a whim. So at the drop of the hat, he can change quite quickly to become a very, very violent person. His build is very muscular and solid, somewhat like The Rock.
Complexion?
Dark.
As I said, dark.
As
He's
in
Not
chocolate?
dark.
Like black or chocolate?
like
Well,
Chocolate.
He's black.
Chocolate.
Chocolate.
my character is not.
Like a chestnutty chocolate.
Yeah, like there is black.
Anyway,
Like a
back to
hazelnut.
Max.
Yeah,
What flavour?
he's not like. He's kind of like a grey, like
Grey, okay,
yeah, grey type skin.
Charcoal.
Charcoal. Yeah. Okay.
Hairy? Beard? Or
So I should probably describe more what he looks like. So he's kind of like, if you look at him, he looks like a hermit. Like, so he's a big, broad dude. He's got like a torn cape on his back with like moss and grass and stuff growing all over it and that sort of shit.
Oh.
And he's got like mushrooms and like flasks on his belt filled with.
So is
Who
he like
knows what?
druidic looking almost?
Yeah.
Very much.
All right. What is the animal wizard that appears in the Hobbit movies?
Yeah, I sort of pictured
But
him with
him,
like the bird shit on his head.
But buff.
and
Radagast. So it's Radagast except
buff and slightly black.
grey.
Not quite, but
Buff
like
but
some
grey.
of
He
those.
said he's got greyish skin.
Grayish skin.
Yeah.
I'd say like the edge of the door frame. At least with the
Like
sheen on
this.
it.
Really? Wow. So that's like...
That's
That's
unnatural
like blue.
That's
Yeah.
Well, it's
He's a strange coloured fella.
Depends what
skin
camera
tone,
you look
you're-
at it from.
You're
That's
half
very
troll. You're half troll. I knew it.
Stop speaking Scottish. What is the
I don't
point
care.
of you
If
speaking
there's no
Scottish?
Scottish people
There's no
coming in
point
the
in you doing
campaign,
that to irritate
I'm
us.
going to be speaking Scottish out of character for the entire campaign because no one's coming in Scottish in the campaign.
skin tone in Alan is kind of odd in the way that everyone crossbreeds. Everyone. Except
So
people from Atora.
donkeys and
Yeah,
people.
all the time.
Sure. So my character also notoriously doesn't wear much armor, sort of thing. Like, has no chest armor. He goes bare shirted, but he has like a buckler almost over his chest, with inscriptions on it, which nobody knows what it means. And it's held to his chest and stuff by a mixture of old leather and like vines and that sort of thing, and that's all strapped around his waist. And then he's got a huge lump of wood that's been carved into a belt across his waist. And he wears pants and stuff made out of animal furs and that sort of thing. The only real armor he does have, though, is he does have quite solid-looking, are they called gauntlets? Shit. The things that go around your arms
Well, it
to
depends.
protect your arms.
Oh yeah, well a bracer is generally just something that covers
It
the
covers
forearm.
everything.
But if
It
a
covers
gauntlet,
the fan brace,
but
isn't it?
a gauntlet's
Gauntlet's a
generally
glove.
always metal of some kind. Is it metal?
No, it's made out of like wood and furs and
Fan
bones.
brace.
So little arm shield
Fan
things.
brace.
Kind
I
of.
don't know. Like, there's no historical component of wooden armor, so you can
Fan
just kind of
brace.
make up. You can just say it's a wooden gauntlet.
Fan
Yeah.
brace. Does it cover your hands or just cover your wrists?
It covers your hand. It's kind of
Okay.
like I think there's a character in World of Warcraft, I've never played it, where he wears like a bear thing with like blades coming out of it.
Rhaegar.
So
Yeah.
it's a Wolverine weapon. There.
Yeah, it doesn't have claws, but yeah, imagine that without the claws.
Is that your only armor-ish stuff?
That and the belt, basically.
Alrighty.
Greg says, "Am I the only one pro-Scottish?" Yes.
Yeah.
No, you're not the only one,
You are
Greg.
completely
you're,
alone.
you're not the
Shad's
only
opinion
one.
doesn't count.
I'm not serious about the donkey thing.
I love you that you had to ask.
So talk about what we know about your character's past or presence in the group as you fill in your character sheet, if you can multitask.
Sorry?
You obviously can't multitask.
I missed that completely. What were we talking about?
So did I.
Good lord, guys. No, I can't blame you. I do the same thing all the time. I think I did it earlier.
Usually I'm okay with it, but
You have 3 stats?
He does.
I get a bonus.
What?
Yeah.
It's to do with his secret. Hence, me having 2 extra commerce points.
You're a Wastelander.
Nope.
Or his half, at least.
That's
His,
I
like,
call bullshit.
his
That's
6.5
OP. He's
My
not
character's massive. With height comes power.
Actually, people that grow up in Varom are generally pretty tall. Not as tall as a Wastelander, but it's not uncommon to see them above 6 foot. And they are pretty damn close to the Wastelanders, so they do have a darker skin tone anyway.
Man.
Yep.
Anyway,
I reckon my character's going to be so gimped.
Again, crossbreeding.
I'm giving her so many
Well,
willfully picked disabling characteristics
so
that she's going to be...
back to like the background of my character. So the reason he's very strong and resourceful, you'll find out, is because he grew up in the wilderness, we'll say. So he grew up in
You can just tell him where he's
In
from.
the forest.
and
He's from the forest.
the forest. Dum,
Yeah,
dum,
forest.
dum.
So he grew up in the big forest, and there's
like bears and shit.
yeah.
And he lived in this little cabin in the middle of it.
No, I'm thinking like halfway down from the cabin, so halfway in between the cabin and the other
He
river.
notoriously didn't really settle in a particular spot of the forest, but nobody knows technically that he was in there, really. So,
Nobody in the
you
group.
guys don't know.
How on earth did you
Sort of
join up
is
with the
from.
mercenary group? You're like this.
That'll come
You're
up.
like this hermit, foresty
Yeah. So
bodybuilder.
my character idolizes nature as well. So he's befriended animals.
do you worship nature?
I'd say idolizes. I
Shad's
don't
making that
worship.
face because he's pissed off that Rob doesn't have any religions in his world.
It just doesn't make sense to me. I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry, Rob. It's your campaign. You get to make the choices.
As I said, 200 years ago, there was something that people kind of worshipped, but it's not so much that they're gods or that it's a religion.
Inoga asks, what are Lars' weapons?
La uses a gigantic bow. Like, it's bigger than most people.
That's
Because he's
awesome.
6'8".
That's
He's just got
awesome.
a gigantic long bow. And the spears are like, the arrows are like spears.
I did think to myself we don't have any ranged.
That's wicked. I love that. That's
Yeah,
like
so-
so. Basically, you need a level 2 strength to be able to pull that
Yeah.
back.
Yeah,
We-
it's
and
a
so
massive bow.
yeah, and so that what that means is. Picture the mountain from Game of Thrones,
With a bow
world's
that's
strongest man, and so the bow, the haft is going to be like this thick. Like that's going to be.
The bow is
huge.
literally like taller than him as well.
That's
so.
wicked, and his 6.5 foot already. So it's a 7 foot bow. That's
Wow.
awesome.
So
We're
if
gonna
you
string
fire
that
forward,
slants
you have to
fine.
hold it sideways because
The string
No,
on this
the
thing,
thing is, when the string's on it,
it's going to be a full rope. It's not on a string; it's a rope.
but when the boat isn't stringed, it'll be fucking huge. When it is stringed, it'll be like significantly shorter because it's bent.
Yeah.
Well, they actually don't shorten too much because they go from that to about that.
Yeah, because they have
That's
to pull back.
still a lot at that height.
The bow as
it'll
well.
shave.
We're really nitpicking over irrelevant
are.
stuff.
Yeah.
Let's keep talking about
Anyway,
interesting things.
The bow at either end has like, I'm gonna say kind of like spikes, so that if he really wants to draw
You
it back,
could
he
use
can
it
place
as a club, man.
Yeah.
You could
Stop interrupting
it's
Mackie.
a quarterstaff. I'm supporting him because I think this is an awesome concept.
I
Anyway,
agree.
I actually, Rob, I think he should legitimately be allowed to use this bow as a quarterstaff if you want. Just like
Depends if you let anybody get close to him.
that's wicked.
Yeah, so the other thing is my character is very in tune with wildlife and that sort of thing. Over time living in the forest, he made friends with a bear, a snake, and a hawk, like an eagle type
Like you can communicate with their spirits?
Bear
Like I
snapping.
talk to them all the time. So like when I go to sleep,
So
like I'll
they
sleep
follow
on my
us.
bed.
They're around our party.
They're always
Really?
with me, basically, yeah. Except for when we go into major towns and stuff.
not magical.
Sometimes they won't let me bring
It's a respect.
my
It
animals
sounds
with me
spiritual.
unless I
It's a
hug them.
respect thing.
There's 3 voices going on at once, and people won't understand what people have said. Sorry, I'm just pointing that
Yeah.
out.
So,
Are they named?
yes, they do have names. I can only remember that the bear's name is Tui. Tui.
Okay. Tui. Cool. No, sorry, keep going.
Yeah, so
Good one.
yeah, so when my character goes to sleep, he like sleeps on his
like
bear
Rick.
and his
I
paw
love
sits on his hand and his snake's like in his jackets or wherever.
Cool.
Um,
Is that a snake, or are you just happy
He
to
also
see
doesn't
me?
have a horse.
yeah, I ride my bear.
That's awesome.
Yeah, my bear's like
Whoa, hang on. How domesticated are these animals? I was thinking this.
No,
wild.
they're
It's really in
not. That's
tune
the
with
thing.
And they let you ride them.
Again, it's a respect thing.
That sounds magical.
It's a respect thing.
no. Yeah, so my character is like as I said, communicates with animals. So always.
That
talks
sounds
to them.
magical.
It's not magical. You've seen the horse whisperer, yeah? Yeah? Yeah?
It's magical.
Fuck off. Not.
Anyway, so he
Keep feeling
he
your
can
stats.
talk to animals. So he communicates with his bear, and he's formed this really good bond with him over time.
So
'Cause-
basically, you're our
Shaman.
weapon fodder. I don't know what's the term. Where if we get in a fight, we just throw you in first with your bear. Like, go get him.
Not really. So my character historically kills people, like whole bands of men, before they even know that he's there, using.
Yeah,
There it is.
we're just walking around and a spear comes down from the
You remember
sky
how-
impaling him.
Remember how I said there were stories and rumours about the forest?
I caused a lot of them.
Really?
Yeah, that's one.
There's
one
a
of the
story
things
on the
that-
forum about it.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I can read.
How
it.
did this tree branch grow through this person?
So
Oh,
is
wait.
this what you showed me that you wanted me to read?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want me to read it out? I'll read it out while you fill in your
Do it in a
thing.
Scottish accent.
I'll do it in a dramatic storyteller voice. Posted at the local inn notice board.
You need to say that in a dramatic
Deeper.
accent too.
Let's get some
Come on, man.
fucking-
Commit.
Okay. In the crackling coffer
Fuck
inn.
Get out. You're fired.
Oh, there's no Scottish. Okay, sorry.
Oh, come on, man.
Okay.
Come on.
Okay, ready? In the crackling coffer inn, where we choose your poison. Beware of the grey beast. Arrows the size of javelins they were. Slayed my men it did. A savage beast it is. Attacked with no warning. First I saw a shadow watching us, and then the forest went quiet. So quiet. Lightning fast it happened. For some reason I'm American, and I don't know why.
One of my guys has a southern
Okay.
Ruined all
So, I
immersion.
did. They died so quick I couldn't help them. An arrow rang through the trees and it nailed Tavern to a tree to my right. Tarvin. Not
Tarvin,
Tavern.
yeah.
Tarvin. Sorry, I'm terrible at this.
I was gonna say a tavern.
Which was just... A smog appeared. Smog, not smug. Sorry. Do I need to start this again?
No.
Okay. As it did... As it did Laran? Laran? Laran.
Make up a name and commit to it. You don't need the true pronunciation for it.
Laran.
Laran.
Fell to the ground screaming, and then, before long, he went quiet. Meanwhile, to my left, Doolan was jumped. A bear it was! They were all dead. As I staggered backwards to run, I fell. I got so tired and weak, and as I looked up, I saw it. The devil. The great beast. It was as tall as the trees. I saw the eyes of a man in the shadow of a bear. It spoke in a booming voice. The beast said, I hope that you make better choices, for on this day I will spare you. But you may not be so lucky next time, boy. When I awoke, I had the mark of a bear on my chest. Its claw had made its mark on my chest. Had it not, I'd thought it a dream. Beware of the grey beast. I'll never go near that forest again for the rest of my days. This is a warning for those who wander into the woods.
Now, you've accepted that as canon, haven't you? Because he references a devil. He says it was a devil, so therefore they believe in devils to some extent, so there's a superstition
shut
something.
up. Stop pushing
Bang!
stupid stuff that's
I've
relevant.
accepted the fact there's something in the forest that has rumors about it.
The thing is...
Not the specifics of the writing.
Yeah.
I'm not fucking Patrick Rothfuss where he mentions someone being monkish and he's just like, shit, now I need to add monks.
It's just, if there's superstition in the world, I would like to know about it. Just world building.
Yeah, there are rumors.
Devils.
No.
Specifically.
There's legends of warriors.
And devils.
And obviously there's the mystery of what happened to the Broken Isles. Some people know about that, not many.
Interesting. Well, that's wicked, man.
Well, someone in chat said it's Nam.
Do I have to have a vocation? Because technically my character doesn't have a vocation.
I'm getting support. Do you see
You
this?
don't have to. It's sort of something you would use to assist things. So
Do you see the support I'm getting in chat? Yeah!
you must push until you admit. They just know to egg you on.
Yeah.
Has nothing to do with them agreeing
As I
with
said, there's no set religion. There is something that people kind of worshipped, but that doesn't happen anymore.
If I take a negative intelligence, I don't get any bonuses, do I? I get more negatives than anything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Your character's OP, man, which is wicked. Is still OP. Like, I'm giving my character... She's going to have so many negatives. It's going to be great.
Well, we got to roll for negatives yet. I might find out that I have.
Oh, you're going to take a disabling characteristic.
Why
We'll
not?
do that now.
Yeah,
This is your character building time.
This is the time. Bringing up disabling
This
characteristics.
could potentially... I hope I don't end
You
up...
could-
This
one-
could
It's
unhinge your
ruinous.
entire character build.
Rob
here.
could make
It's
you
here.
addicted to eating meat. Bear meat.
Yeah, no, my character still lives up to
Ah!
He doesn't not kill animals.
Alright. Well, something else that will screw your character over.
He doesn't not eat
What?
animals. He
I don't
lives
know
off the
what.
land.
But it's going to screw your character over.
Alright, are we ready?
Yes.
Who wrote this book? I can't
Oh,
find
wait.
the things I
Pull
need.
it and a camera build.
Found it.
Ready?
Page 17.
Go. 9. What
Paranoia.
disabling characteristic?
Paranoia.
Ooh, I like it. So now the
After
narrator...
living in the jungle for a while, I guess that makes sense.
It does make sense. I didn't take a disabling characteristic.
I'm going to read it out as
truthful.
it's written. Paranoia, the extreme belief that every person they meet will eventually betray them, that the government is run by an evil cult, or that if they ever urinate on the grass, they will become infected with a terminal disease.
These are just examples.
Yes.
They're great examples.
you
I love
as-
that last one.
So you as a narrator, and I'll tell him what he is paranoid about. Irrationally.
Awesome. Do the urination one. I'd love it. Where the hell did you go to the toilet in the forest then?
You don't like walking on roads. That's you're paranoid of walking on a road.
Do my feet have to touch the ground?
Rob,
Or you can't be above
Just
it.
man-
to add something,
Man
he would
made
need to be paranoid that something very specific will happen when he does walk on a road. So as to explain why
My
he
character's
won't.
not scared of people, though.
true.
So will he think that he will burst into flames?
No,
That would be cool.
It's not a slapstick.
No, but it's have some fun with it. Come on.
That's a tough one.
It just doesn't fit within his character, though, to
Yeah.
make it so ludicrous.
Well, he could be afraid of fire.
Can you think of any that you think would be good?
How do you know?
New
I'm
people.
afraid of people hurting nature, essentially.
How
because
much
I
did you have
ideology.
to do with people in the forest? Did you meet?
Most people that I met died. So your crew is extremely
Could you
lucky.
believe that there is an unspoken yet fully declared war between men and nature? That every single person you meet, you expect that they are wanting to
Wouldn't that be a
destroy
delusion?
trees.
That would be
Yeah, it's
delusional.
That's a
almost
delusion.
delusional.
My thought is, what if your paranoia was of strangers? Of people you've never met or watched for a long time?
That's a fear. He needs to be.
There is no other category that would fit in our rule set. It would be under a paranoia. And I'm just thinking, if he's joined our party because he's watched us for a significant...
I watch everyone. So people who enter the forest,
Yes, but I'm
if they don't
saying
hurt
there
the
will be
forest, they don't
times that you
necessarily
meet
kill
people before you get a chance to watch them, and you could be immediately paranoid or skeptical about them.
No, see, that's not a paranoia.
And I don't think it's disabling enough.
See,
It's got to like cripple me in some
It
way
needs
at
to
some
be
point.
like
Twitch, help us out.
Yeah, well, come on, Twitch.
Um,
Like, if you sleep inside a house, you believe you will get the plague, kind of thing. Like, you've slept outdoors your whole life.
Here's an interesting thought. Someone says he thinks the roads will cave in. The thought, though, perhaps being that the paranoia of man-made structures failing in a way that nature does.
That could be like you could honestly
I don't
believe
trust-
anything that is made by
paranoid
men
Buildings,
will just cave in. Like
roads, even there could,
that's a good one. I like
to a lesser
that.
extent. That was said by that some bad juju.
The
in
only
Twitch
problem I see with that potentially is story related. If we're ever in a building, I'm likely
You've
to
got
just
to
sit
role
out.
play it.
No, but
Yeah.
that's good though, because it means it guides
Okay.
the story in a way that adds conflicted
Yeah,
interest.
that's why it's a disabling character.
We're either dragging you in somewhere or you're dragging us out, which is
awesome.
good.
I love
Okay.
it.
Yeah. So you have a
I
paranoia.
have a feeling you guys would have a hard time trying to push him to go
now,
anywhere.
Mackie, I want to stress something. You're not fearful. You're paranoid about it. So what this means is you can go inside a building, but you will be expecting it to fall down. See,
Yeah.
this isn't a disabling fear. It's just a paranoia. So there's a bit of a difference there. You understand?
Okay.
So you'll have to role play it.
I don't mind that one.
Yeah, I like it.
I think it also kind of fits well with your
And like,
character.
so what would happen, like, if you get onto a road, you'd be like really hesitant, maybe do it really quickly because you're expecting that it'll break. And if it didn't, well, that was just one of the few.
Or perhaps just find ways to test things before you know what I mean? Like before you walk through a door, you sort of just tap the archway a bit before you step through. Just ways to kind of
Then done.
make sure that the man-made structure isn't going to be...
But
Like
honestly,
when I walk indoors,
I can't-
Because you're used to the trees the size of, you know...
I actually
all the-
kind of like it being more extreme. Maybe you just will not. Like,
No, because that's beyond disabling.
no,
that's
that's
going to cripple
properly
the story.
disabling.
That's going to cripple the story.
that's what we want. That's what it
No,
should be.
I disagree. I feel like you're taking it a step too far. I feel like it
Oh,
takes...
that's a good one. I could be paranoid about my pets that people are constantly trying to harm them. But I don't.
Yeah,
It means I would never leave them alone.
yeah.
It's up to the narrator.
It is your call.
I'm honestly quite fond of the paranoia that
Well, then
anything
you-
human or anything made by man is not sound.
So you set the parameters.
Not
Shad.
evil,
It's
but
not natural.
How extreme is it? Shad wants it to be more extreme. I think it would be a bit more subtle. But where do you
I'm going
think
to say
it would
he'll
fit?
avoid it at almost any cost, but if he knows it's crucial to like the success of like a specific mission or task, he'll bite the bullet and do it, but he'll be very skittish.
So, for example, if we need to meet Errol, he'd stand outside.
Oh, he'd stay the fuck away from town.
Really, it's like stay outside of town.
Yep.
Wouldn't that split up our party too much?
Yep.
Yeah, disabling characteristic, baby. I love it.
Either way, my bear can't enter towns.
Yeah.
That's fair enough.
And he does have other ways of contacting you.
Does he?
He's hawk or he's eagle.
Okay.
He can speak to animals, remember? So
Nice.
just relay a message. So tell them that they need to go.
So the hawk
to
shows up and
4th
goes,
Fifth Street. Yeah, exactly.
And we just go, we don't understand you!
We
God, how
don't
many times we have to
speak
tell
hawk!
you?
No. Like,
Useless communication
so I
system.
could can I write? I don't know.
Probably not.
I would say no unless someone's been teaching you.
I would teach him.
You probably want to, yeah. But
I'm a
that's-
scholar
that's
and
within
it's-
your character.
My character is impressionable, so if someone tried to teach him, maybe.
So you're 25. So I'm a bit older than you. So
You're
I
pretty
might...
young. You're young.
How long has Zar been in the
26.
party? La. What? Oh, that's my...
So-
L looks weird.
I'm really like.
And so, sorry.
It would be known how you joined because
Yeah.
Carter was in the
Where-
group. How did you join?
Yeah.
Basically, based on what the party had done, like I'd witnessed them do something, is why I've joined. So
Well,
most
would I
people-
know what that is?
So basically, this massive
Okay.
beast forest
There
hermit
needs to
just
be-
walked up and
Let's
said,
just say this.
I want to join
Let's just
your
say
party.
this. You were doing something in the forest, and it aligned with his interests, and you were struggling, and he probably helped you.
And then you just stuck
Okay,
with you.
you're being really vague. I'm in the party and was there when it happened. So just tell me what it was.
Okay, let's just say I don't know.
Not let's just say what fucking happened.
Right. Okay. So what happened was you doing a mercenary job for a local lord who owns part of that forest, and he's been cutting it down and doing whatever. And someone else was pissed off at him because he was breaching into his territory. You probably wouldn't like the fact the trees are getting cut down, but you don't know what they're doing. You just know that they come in and start killing these woodcutters that are stealing their shit. And you're like, fuck yeah, I know that. And then the lord who's trying to protect his men sends out his army, and then you fight his army, and then you see they're struggling, so you help with your...
My
So
bad.
then what would cause him
These
to then
javelins
follow
came out.
us and leave the forest?
I don't have a particular... I idolize nature itself, but I don't particularly have any need to stay in the forest. I just don't like any
Midlife
particular
crisis.
people outside of it.
Time to leave. I want to see the world. These guys look like some good blokes. I'll go with them. And so you were walking away, and you were being followed by a giant hermit beast
I
monster.
would say potentially you convinced him.
Well, I have a high level of persuasion.
Oh, you asked
And
him
I
to
am
join.
quite impressionable.
Yeah.
You were low
But
on
it
archers.
wasn't even like a, you're really strong, come with us. It may have just been like...
I wanted to help him.
Yeah.
He seemed uneducated and like he had no friends.
Come on,
and you
though.
knew he was proficient with his
A
weapons.
bow
so
that
he
can
handled it.
shoot spears
Okay, no,
would
no.
be useful for a mercenary
No,
group.
because that wouldn't be Carter's interest. Carter's interest is helping people. And when he met La and was helped by La, he would have thought to himself that after, I'm assuming you maybe would have, put us up for the night, essentially, and maybe a couple of days we might have gotten to know you while we were recovering or something. In that time, I might have become familiar with the fact that you are alone and lonely, maybe, aren't educated in any way other than nature itself, and seemed in some fashion to be unhappy to the extent where I would want to help that. Because if you were perfectly happy and content, why would you leave?
As warm as it is with sleeping with bears, there's much more natural companionship that you can find.
Well,
I was like, there are these things called boobs, they're great. Really cool.
You're gonna love them.
yeah.
Sorry, out of character. Anyway,
Yes.
His response:
so we do need to wrap that up. We
Wait,
need to move
his
on. So
response-
let's look at your...
bears can have boobs too.
Oh.
That's pretty
So show your
much
character sheet.
that.
So walk us
I
through-
don't have as many points as Jazza, but basically my character is very adept in survival and stealth and aiming, obviously, and killing people with ranged weapons of sorts. Very strong,
This is
And
really good that we have
very-
arranged.
very twitchy,
Cool.
which is reflected in his reflex.
All right, let's move on to Shad's character, named...
Lily.
I was wondering why Lily wasn't in that list.
This is Lily, Shad's illustration of Lily.
Indeed. So I'm actually playing a female.
How tall is she?
She's like a little under 5 foot. So she's actually very short.
It's not very short. It's fairly average. Slightly under average, but not...
Well, then she'd be 4.5. She's actually meant to be short, like noticeably
Okay,
short.
so 4.5.
About 4.5 foot.
Wow.
Yeah. And so next to La,
You're
It's
like
like
the
half
size
the
of my
size.
leg.
yeah, it's like she's going to come up to a bit above his waist almost. All right, so Lily, she was left in a mercenary camp at the age of 3. Now, Rob, stop texting on your phone. You're the
I'm
narrator,
not playing
man.
to chat about cogent, mate.
Yeah, I'll give you a pass.
Go on.
Well, we figured out her parentage, and some of it's going to be unknown, but I kind of forget who it was. Anyway, basically, the father was the father a member of the mercenary group?
He was definitely in the army that you were
Yeah.
following. Yes.
So basically, the father fathered Lily without having known, and the mother nursed her until, and then took care of her until she was 3. Something happened, she got fed up with him, don't know, but she dumped her in basically, her rags in the middle of the camp. And the mercenaries had no other choice but to take her on. They could have thrown her out, but they figured there was a note.
murder.
They're friendly mercenaries.
They were friendly mercenaries. There was a note explaining that she was the daughter of one of them. And I forget, is he still alive or did he die?
You don't know.
Yeah. He ran off somewhere.
So daddy's somewhere and she has daddy issues of some sort, probably?
Abandonment issues, of course. So she was first taken on to peel potatoes, polish armor, clean clothes and stuff like that. Just basically, the menial labor. Until there was a battle that this particular mercenary group was in. And she was at the age of, I think it was 5 when she did this. But there was a battle and one of the mercenaries got in trouble. She saw this and with a paring knife saved his life by gutting the other person quite literally, full. She was giggling at that. She thought it was hilarious fun. And ever since then, they could never stop her joining the battles. They would try and lock her away, keep her away. She'd find whatever she could use as a weapon, run in, and go to town. The thing that convinced them to let her continue was she was remarkably good at it and unnaturally strong for her age and size. And her strength just continued to grow. Even to the point where now she's 16 years old, even though there's going to be a couple of things that will happen in history that I'll explain, but she is as strong as a person can get. She's actually, I'm going to give her 2 points in strength, which basically world's strongest man competition level strength. She's that strong. She doesn't look like it at all, which will throw a lot of people. Why? It's fiction and fantasy, and mainly it's due to some genetic anomaly. Because why? Magic. Fiction.
Not magic.
It's not magic. I'm not allowed to use the magic. But she does not look strong at all, but she is as strong as Mackie's character, level for level. So she's 2 points in strength, and so phenomenally strong, but the strength comes in density, and so she actually weighs 150 kilos. That's something she's really embarrassed about.
She's a freak of nature.
Yeah, she's a freak of nature. She's got, yeah.
For someone that short, that's incredible.
Yeah, it is. It's amazing. It's something very odd going on. And if Rob wants to pick that up and run with it, he can. He can do whatever he wants with it. It's up to him. So she has been a mercenary her whole life, quite literally. She picked up weapons and they couldn't stop her going into battles. She became particularly good at it. And she is a very happy, bubbly kind of person. But when it comes to battle, a switch kind of gets flicked and she becomes, people would call her insane. She will run in, scream with bloodlust, chop a guy's head off, pick up that head and beat his friend to death with it. Then go to another guy, disembowel him, grab out his intestines and hang another person from a tree by those intestines. That's how she rolls in battle. She'll come back covered in blood and then read a romance novel.
Cool. So she's a girly girl with a crazy ex-girlfriend side to her when it comes to battles. Why didn't you love me, Daddy?
Kind of like that.
I'm going to go flirt with boys now.
Well, there are some very specific character elements that I'll go into about her personality. But that's how she fights, and she has become a very good and competent mercenary. She is actually not a member of the mercenary group that these guys are members of. Completely different group. And she grew up...
At the start of this campaign.
No, she's not even a member at the beginning.
Yeah, no. At the beginning of the campaign. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. You don't.
That's not to say she won't be. But
exactly.
when the game starts,
we don't know who she is. You don't know anything about her. You might have heard rumor of her because this crazy strong little girl mercenary in part of another mercenary group, word might have gotten around that. There's this
KMPF says, I pity the guy who dates Chad's character. I could imagine there would be a sense of fear running through their mind constantly, like, don't make her sad ever, or I will die.
I just love all the comments that are pointing out, like, flaws. It's like...
Thanks, people.
She's so skinny.
Why does she
she
only
so
have
heavy?
one sheath? And why does she have two different swords?
For someone who's...
I will answer. There's
someone so
very...
obsessed with medieval historical accuracy, that's way too big a sword in a miniskirt. These are just things people are saying.
They're very good questions. First of all,
don't answer them all.
Yeah.
Don't
This
just
is
talk about your character.
For I Am Shad. You can do a
do another video on
breakdown.
it. Let's keep
I'll go
to
into
the campaign.
Great swords didn't really have sheaths. They were too big.
Stop it! What, you didn't listen.
They were a battlefield weapon. The long sword is a backup. All right, so that's basically it. As to her personality, she's actually a very happy person generally. She's very pleasant. She has a very good sense of doing nice things for people. She's very thoughtful and considerate. Having said that, though, she is a 16-year-old girl who struggles with many things. 16-year-old girls, well, not many, but she struggles with certain things. So she has, she's very emotional. This is actually going into disabling characteristics territory, okay? And so when I say very emotional, she deals with rejection, like abandonment issues quite a bit, and she is incredibly self-conscious, okay? She struggles with feelings of inadequacy, quite a lot, and again, coming from being abandoned as a child, so she has a very negative self-image about herself, but she tries to be happy and get through life and, you know, be a good person. She has a phobia, full-blown phobia, and this will come into play, of intimacy.
For like physical intimacy, emotional intimacy?
Physical intimacy.
So not emotional, but she'll get close to people?
Yeah, absolutely.
But if someone tries to kiss her, she freaks out?
Yeah, totally freak out. Now, you could assume that this is from her feelings of inadequacy, and then, she doesn't feel that she's worth being loved and other things like that. That could come from other experiences in her past, which I'm not going to tell what they are. And that's mostly it. She has an extreme, unhealthy prejudice against Wastelanders.
She's racist.
Beyond racist.
Mega racist. So most people don't like Wastelanders?
No, most people hate Wastelanders.
Most people hate Wastelanders.
She sees a Wastelander, it would be very hard for her not to kill them on the spot.
Well, don't most people kill them on sight anyway?
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's not particularly different.
Yeah, but she'll do it with children and women as well.
Yep, that's really normal.
So it's normal stuff. There's more emotional things.
So it's not disabling. You don't get like a point for that.
No, probably not.
You haven't filled in your character sheet yet.
What do the
I don't.
Wastelanders look like?
Tall, big.
Yeah, but are they
Hairy.
black, white, green, yellow?
They're
pink?
they're like a rainbow.
Okay.
Think about it this way. The Wastelander gene pool started and they were naturally huge and they bred amongst themselves and just got bigger and bigger as time went on. And then they started raping and pillaging and they interbred and there's not inbred, but wow, that too. But they picked up other genetic traits. So they're literally like all colors of the rainbow. They'll be, black, they'll be pale as hell and they'll be like brown, like sandy. Yeah.
Okay, so things that she loves homemaking skills. She kind of actually wants to be a homemaker. That's one of her lifelong goals, but she has trouble, getting close to anyone in the physical sense. So she has trouble progressing into that dream, but she loves to try and homemake. So sewing, cooking, cleaning, washing clothes. She's terrible at every single one of them. Cooking is her favorite thing to do. That's her favorite beyond
So
favorite.
when I said previously, when Shad was asking me what my character's tolerance of food is, and I said he won't eat dog feces with berries, that's the extent to which she's bad at cooking.
The mercenary crew that she grew up with, basically, they had grown up eating, scum from people's toenails mixed in with hardtack and gruel kind of stuff. And taste buds were burnt out a long time ago, and that's what she grew up eating. That's kind of the palate that she's developed, and mostly her taste buds are mostly dead as well. So she has no sense of taste really, but she loves to cook. It is her favorite thing to do in the world. And she also she made her skirt and she butchered that because it's got terrible sewing and it's piecemeal together or other things like that. But she's also a very girly girl. She loves pink. She loves flowers. She's named her swords Rose and Daisy. Her name is Lily. But that's basically it. That's my character. That's Lily.
We should wrap up soon because the video is going to go for a bit and we have to wrap up. You should probably fill in your character sheet so we can show it.
Now, I will say, in response to questions people are asking about my characters, there is already a video up about Lily, about the hand drawing of her and also the inking. And in the video where I'm drawing and inking her,
this is on the I Am Shad YouTube channel.
On my YouTube channel, I explain some of the logic behind the armor she's wearing and the weapons she's using and stuff like that.
So if you feel like bitching, go check it out.
Watch my video, right, before you come complaining to me.
Fill in your character sheet. I feel like we should go back around and there's something that we haven't covered, which is we've done history and a little bit of beliefs, morality, but we haven't talked much about goals and aspirations, where we want to go and what we want to achieve or where we want to be. You know what I mean? So I think that's fairly important for people knowing this and for each other to know, so we sort of, you know what I mean? Like, so we sense what direction it's going to go in.
She's not wearing high heels. She's wearing boots.
That's responding to someone in the chat.
The image is also available on my DeviantArt page if you want to see the full thing as well. And you can see if she's wearing high heels.
Ooh, it's not a mystery. You can just do this. No high heels. Well, they're boots.
But it's high definition, okay?
Okay. Anyway,
increasing my picture, man.
You printed it. Just print another one.
Okay, so disabling characteristics. You know how she weighs 150 kilos? I actually want to select the disabling characteristic heavy. Which means...
So this is an actual statistic-based disabling characteristic. Do you want to read this? What that means?
She is going to get a -1 to all reflex-based skills. So that means athletics, those are strengths. Sorry, acrobatics, ride, pilot, sleight of hand, and stealth. She's going to get a negative dice on every single one of them.
Do you want to, as a indicator, just put the negatives on there so
Yeah.
you always know that's there?
Negative in
I usually put a cross in, that.
Don't worry, I'll remember.
Anyway.
I'll subtract them off the skills anyway. And this is because she weighs 150 kilos, so she's actually really heavy, and that affects her in, combat and stuff like that, which is going to be hilarious to roleplay and lots of fun.
Cool.
And there was a couple others, but what were you saying before? You were
I was going to say, while you fill in your character sheet, we should go back around briefly and just talk about our goals and aspirations for our characters' futures, because we talked a lot about the past and the present. Just so we can come back later and you can show your character sheet, because it will take a bit to fill that in. But I delved myself in because I haven't really planned anything to say.
Go on then.
I was just trying to let you fill that out in peace. So Carter seeks to reunite with someone, but he's never spoken of this. It's rumoured because of the people who in the party have known him for a long time. Maybe he may have spoken in his sleep. But not much is known of his past, not much is known of his family, and he hasn't, for anyone's knowledge, seen or spoken to his family ever since he was 16 or younger. So he wants to reunite with someone at some point, but he's pretty quiet about himself because he likes to make everything about other people. So he doesn't talk much about his past, he doesn't talk much about where he wants to go, but deep down inside, he wants to make the world a better place, and he wants to be as big a part of that as possible in helping people. It's really sort of lovey-dovey stuff, but like in a not him being the central focus sort of way. He would, if he could give his life to make a handful of people's lives happy for the rest of their life, he would do it in a heartbeat. Like, that's just what he finds the purpose of existence is. So he's using his existence to try and uplift that of others. There you go. So they're his goals and aspirations. What are Lars?
I'm going to say my guys' goals or aspirations.
Sorry to interject. How many negatives can I take in homemaking? 1 or 2?
You can only take a negative of 1 in anything.
Yeah, but I'd like to push it to the extreme if it's available.
What do you plan on getting with it? Do you plan on getting an extra point with homemaking?
Probably not. I don't care. I just want -2 on the dice
Just say
rolls.
you're bad at homemaking.
Yeah, just say you're really bad at it. You can take 2 negatives on it if you want, but you're not getting a positive out of it.
Anyway, sorry, go on.
So I'm going to say his goals and aspirations are just to meet animals and plants and that sort of thing that he's never seen before. And
So discovery.
Yeah, discovery.
Will that have been one of the ways that... Do you know, that brings us back to why you left the forest. Because if you have a love of nature, really you've only have known that forest.
It is the biggest forest.
That forest. It is the biggest forest. But in the time that we knew each other, I will have been able to show you my books and show you some of the nature and plant life in other areas of the world. And that would have been pretty fascinating to you. Maybe that would have sparked your passion to see the things you've never seen before. The animals from the north and the south, east and west that you never knew existed, that you want to meet essentially and say, who are you? What do you do? Where are you from? In a way that we can't, because you know how to communicate with animals. Does that ring right?
You can talk to animals?
Communicate and talk are different.
Yeah, like horse whispering, but sorry.
Yeah, no, that's
You've
basically
gotten.
it.
I thought you were on board with that joke. You just abandoned it.
Destiny and commerce points. Can't forget them.
I'm a bit too dense to get jokes on the fly.
I would say you have less commerce points. Actually, no. Because he would loot people that you kill in the
But does
forest.
he
He doesn't mean
consider
we'd
value
have-
in money?
Shiny.
Yeah, so 1 would be nice, but 20?
Fair point.
Just putting it out there.
I'd say 1 or 2.
I reckon 1 or 2. I'll say 2.
You have 2 commerce points.
Mostly for different types of money.
The thing about that though is because he has no concept of value in the sense that society has,
Yeah.
he might have, before he ventured off with us, shown us his shiny things, and I might have explained to him why these ones
Yeah.
are more valuable than those, and that he should take those on his journey because they could help him find
I'm imagining that my
food or whatever.
situations, like my little places that I slept, I would have kept the bodies as trophies.
So I have a negative in all reflex-based skills already. That mean I could actually... We already had allowance that you could take 1 negative on skills anyway. So if I took a negative on a reflex skill, that would give me -2.
Sorry, what's this for?
If you
Negative
do-
on a reflex skill.
If you do that, you realise
I would
that-
honestly say you can't opt in to take more than 1 negative.
Yeah, but I lose 1 dice naturally anyway
Yeah,
for my
but
disabling
you can't
characteristic.
opt in to go further than
But
that.
that means my base dice is 1 instead of 3. I can
That
I still
also-
have dice to roll with.
That also means in combat that you go supremely last. Like, you almost lose
No,
a
it
round
doesn't.
to
No,
get that sort.
it's only base skills. It does not come into round order.
Yeah. He would go...
Well,
I
you've still got one
He'd be
less
the
than
bottom
you.
of the pecking order because he has no reflex.
Yeah, I've got no reflex anyway.
But he
You've
wouldn't get
got-
a negative in
I'm
reflex.
armored up.
He said he wanted a negative.
you?
in
No,
reflex.
not reflex, in a skill. And so,
Okay.
Someone asked the question in chat that if my character has a lot of books, how would I carry them around with me?
That's up to you.
good point.
Well, my question to you, like, I mean, would I
Or
have...
horse
like,
and
You
car.
take some with you, but you wouldn't take them all. I would assume that because you've been doing this for a while, you may even have a home somewhere. Regardless of whether or not you visit it often, you might have a home somewhere.
See, what I'm thinking is giving her an additional negative in either ride, pilot, or stealth, which means she's going to be a full-on klutz when it comes to those things, which would be humorous, I reckon, in the game. So it means she she has no hope of ever riding a horse, or when it comes to stealth, she cannot be silent to save her life at all. So what do you think? Ride, pilot, negative, or stealth? Negative.
I'd say negative in stealth is more.
I'd say stealth. She looks
Stealth.
ditzy as shit.
Yeah. Oh, that's going to be annoying.
She's not airheaded.
Are you
She's not
really gonna-
stupid.
Negative in stealth will be fine.
2 negatives.
Yeah,
She looks
I
loud and
think
annoying.
that's...
I don't think anybody in our group is subtle except one person, maybe two.
The question is, would we take you into our group if you end up getting us, if we know you're going to end up getting us killed? 2 negatives in stealth means that you walk around going, la 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 la, and you smack into things when we're trying to say shush.
No, it's not that bad.
It's pretty bad.
No, that comes from stupidity.
-1 in stealth is really klutzy. Really klutzy.
Negative one
-2
in stealth
is,
is like you're
why
walking
would
along
we
and
carry
kick a
you
helmet.
around with us? You will get us killed.
Because she can kill lots of people.
So you
If
say.
anyone's going to accept it, it's you.
Yeah, I know. It's
I know, you're being
irritating.
all this so
I'm defending
critical.
it as me, not as my character.
And there's 2 kind of playboys in the group that would accept her as well for another reason.
Fuck.
Oh, that's
So
hilarious.
annoying. So I'm assuming you're saying he can have -2 in stealth.
If he wants.
Okay.
It's obviously not going to make it easy.
Look, it wouldn't. It comes more in the rolls. Okay, so challenge level 3, I start off
With 1 dice
with
to
1
roll.
dice to roll.
Besides,
So-
you're not exactly subtle with him following you. In fact, no, you're not subtle at all. You have 3 pretty big dudes in your group.
That's true. Okay,
4.
my question to you was, it was sparked in the idea of talking about traveling with things. If we like have a mission or go somewhere or whatever, would we travel with stuff like carts and blah 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 and keep it in the town that we're
It
in and
depends
then
what
go
you're
do a
doing.
mission?
Like, if you're just traveling from town to town, you might take more than usual. If you're traveling from somewhere to actually go and accomplish a mission, I would say you would pack light.
Yeah. So where do we leave our stuff?
I would say it would be with Errol at this stage.
Oh, that's a good point. Okay, cool. Good to know.
Okay, so disabling characteristics that
We do need to wrap up pretty
I'm
soon.
processing.
Guys.
I'm almost
like
done.
really soon. So,
So she has heavy. I have over emotional and extremely insecure about herself. So she will have emotional breakdowns quite often if, rejection, she fails at things and stuff like that. And I think that'll be fairly disabling. And her phobia with intimacy.
How is her insecureness going to be disabling?
She fails at something, she'll bawl out and cry. You don't like her cooking, she'll have a bit of an emotional breakdown. She's very emotional
Lily
and
sounds
insecure.
irritating.
She does.
She's going to be great.
She sounds kind of like Eric.
Eric
Well,
was
it
a
sounds
total
worse.
jerk.
In the
If
scale
that's-
of irritation.
If that's the case, I mean, we don't have to put up with it long.
Eric died
You guys
after
are
like
scumbags.
4 episodes.
It was more than that, wasn't it?
5.
Nah.
No, it probably wasn't actually.
4 sessions.
4 sessions, yeah.
Okay, so the
a good
points.
Yeah. Well,
I-
you've chosen them, so you get 1 for each.
1 for each. Sweet.
Cool. Uh,
I think that's pretty much.
Well, I'm
And I just
almost
one
done.
thing to say after he wraps up, and then we're good.
okay. We do need to wrap up pretty
Yeah,
soon, though,
I know.
because we're behind.
Well, we can wrap up because I'm just filling
So
in
show your
stuff.
character sheet.
This is it at the moment. I'm probably add 1 or 2 points elsewhere. But so she's got 2 points in strength. Homemaking, -2. Soldiering, I've got 2 points in on. That's her professions. Her skills, two-handed sword is her main thing, and she uses a great sword but also a long sword, both which are two-handed swords. But one is a war weapon and one is a sidearm. Skills, so 2 on perception, 2 on athletics and grapple, and 2 on persuasion, which gets a -1. All those, that's huge already. And I'm thinking of maybe taking a negative on one of these ones to try and I want to get athletics and grapple a bit higher to make her really specialize in them. So I'm either going to take a negative to get more points or take down persuasion and perception to buff those ones.
I don't know if it'll ever come up, but you also know that.
Yeah, I know stuff. Secrets. So there you
Robin
go.
is secret. Cool. Thank you for sharing.
That is Lily.
So, Rob, you said you wanted to wrap up with some info?
Right. So somebody said before, is there a healer? And I'm assuming, do you mean is there someone that's practicing medicine, or do you mean is there a mage? And then that made me think about mages. And as I said before, when we weren't streaming or weren't recording, there is magic in this world, and there is a mage or a magi in this party. I'm not going to say who, purely because, they don't know for one. And magi are exceedingly rare. Like, they're barely even known they exist. I cannot get over the rareness of this. Yeah. And if that person at any point wants to, because no one else in the party knows about it, but if that person at any time wants to actually use their magic, then they would have to say that, and then it would be revealed. Unless they can do it stealthily, in which case you just have to kind of pretend that you don't know.
Does characters who don't use magic, do they even know magic exists? Is it a
No.
myth? So yeah, it doesn't exist to them at all.
No.
All right, but there's like tales of witches and
Nope.
there's no
No tales of magic.
Well, you knew there was magic at one time. That's the thing.
So we did know that it once
existed
existed.
in ages past.
Okay, see that's different to not knowing it ever existed.
Yeah. It's not known to exist anymore, at all.
Cool.
Yeah. Yes. Also, fun fact: you can obtain magic.
Really?
Mhm.
How's that done?
That's a secret.
Huh.
If you guys are lucky and you do certain things, there is a quest line that leads to it.
Cool.
Actually, the separate.
Well, that brings us to the conclusion of character creation. So we have Carter, the kindly, aging mercenary runaway.
La, the giant hermit.
Lily, the kind-hearted, vicious in combat, and over-emotional mercenary.
I like it. I'm looking forward to it. I wish we could play right now.
And now we have to wait a month.
Go work at your fucking job, dickhead. Sorry.
Yeah.
Rob got a promotion, dick.
Thank you for joining us,
Thank you
everyone.
so much. Looking
Been a
forward
pleasure.
to playing, and yeah, see you guys later.
See you later.